This podcast is a member of the Red 5 Network. For more Red 5 Network podcasts and content creators, visit bio.link/red5.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
Hey!
Hello.
Thanks for stopping by, and we're dancing.
We're
dancing like nobody's watching.
We're
but I think,
falling.
according to YouTube, 2 people are watching. That's probably just us, so
Oh.
nobody's watching. Excellent.
Nobody's watching.
How you doing, Dave?
Sadly temporary. I'm good. I'm very excited to be here. It's always a little nice to do a live show and like without a net.
Yeah. Definitely tonight without a net. I didn't have anything planned, but we made a nice little list.
Yeah, we've got a list going.
backstage, so that is wonderful. Let's say hi. Go ahead.
Oh no, go say hi to people.
I just
Sorry.
wanted to say hi to the chat. We got Crusher Combo that stopped by, Comics and Danny. Thank you very much. Skywalker's Academy. We've got the D-Man, not to be confused with the other D-Man, but he is here from the Alpha Quadrant. Thank you very much for stopping on by, and we'll have some more folks in a bit, I hope. But it's nice to have Dave from Star Wars Mean to You here on the Scuttlebutt podcast, live, ScarifLive.
Yeah, it's wonderful to be here. It's really great. I always love dropping by and coming on Scarif and just talking not just Star Wars but geek stuff.
Yeah.
And it's always good. It's like this is like the digital water cooler.
It is. It's the Scuttlebutt.
It's the
Yeah.
You know what? Perfectly branded.
There you go. I even made bunt cake for you. Got some bunt cake over here. Remember when like you'd go out and people would offer you bunt cake?
Yes.
In the 80s.
Yes. Yeah. And sometimes it was cake and sometimes it was Jello.
That's right.
They made the Jello mold was in a kind of bunt style pan.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely right. Yes. But we are showing our age. I still like bunt cake. I like cake of any size. Are you a cake or a cookie guy?
I am both. I have a horrific sugar tooth. I in high school, I would go to this place called Eden Park, and it was like the local Pittsburgh diner. And I would get the milkshake and this giant chocolate chip cookie for dessert.
Nice.
And just like boom. Love. So yeah, cookies, cake, sugar. As long as it's sugar.
Yeah, as long as it's sugar. I think if I'm not mistaken on Twitter, sometimes they have National This Day and National That. It was National Brownie Day.
Oh wow.
And I had myself a brownie. Ubaldo, how's it going? Thanks for stopping by. But yeah, brownies, chocolate cake. One of my favorites really is I used to work at TCBY. Do you remember TCBY?
Oh, heck yeah. The country's best yogurt.
Yes, that is correct. And I used to make a mean hot fudge brownie sundae. So you take a square brownie, put it at the bottom of the bowl, and then start to build your ice cream tower, your yogurt tower, vanilla, chocolate, what have you.
Can I ask a quick question about the yogurt tower?
Sure.
What was the best process for getting like a straight up tower of yogurt?
Just like the ancient Egyptians did, in layers.
Layers. There it is.
Layers, nice little layered wall, straight tower, little pyramid. And then this is where you get creative, where you put your hot fudge, your hot caramel, some marshmallow sauce, drizzle it with some, salted pecans or nuts.
Nice.
Add the whipped cream, a couple of cherries, and you are set. The adventure really was was just kind of digging into the tower and getting to the bottom layer where your chocolate brownie is.
Yeah.
Oh.
What I find really funny about that is TCBY was promoted as like the healthy ice cream, like
Right,
like
yogurt, low
better,
fat.
low fat, and then you just made it awesome. You took something low fat and then was
Right.
like, you know what? I'm gonna make this awesome with a brownie, hot
Yeah.
fudge,
Yeah.
whipped cream. Oh, that sounds delicious. I could go for that one right now.
Absolutely. There's no more. I haven't seen. I think they went out of business, but yeah, those were good. Those were good. The favorite flavor of the neighborhood where I worked was white chocolate mousse.
Huh. How was it? Was it really like white chocolatey
Yes, it
or
was. It was. I mean, it wasn't heavy or rich. It was just like you
Mhm.
can just scoop it up,
Yeah.
stick it in your mouth for days.
If I had a nickel. Yes.
Excellent, excellent. Hey, some quick announcements. If you guys on Thursday I dropped an episode with Heidi from Costume Co. We talked about movie costumes and really kind of had a really nice discussion about the process, how some actors talked about not really feeling the character until they put on the cape, until they put on the outfit. So it was a really great discussion. Heidi, obviously, she's really into costuming and talking and discussing with costume designers from movies in real life. Her channel, if you guys are interested in costumes and stuff like that, find her. She's Costume Co. On the YouTubes and on Twitter. But a reminder, if you did listen to it, you have to remember to listen till the end. I've got a voicemail there from one of our followers that was talking about costumes, but I also wanted to give away a Scarif mug. So there's instructions on the back end of that episode to be able to put your name in the running to win an awesome Scarif Scuttlebutt mug. You put some tea in there, some coffee, or just melted chocolate fudge, and just
Yeah. Or you could put a TCBY brownie sundae in that thing.
That is correct. You can. So listen to that episode. Listen to it twice. We need the numbers, and follow the instructions. I could send you one of these Scarif mugs. Beautiful, beautiful.
It is beautiful.
So obviously when I bring people in, especially when I bring Star Wars Mean to You, there's usually two of you guys. Last time you guys were on the show, we talked a little Star Wars. Where in the world is Alora? Where is she? What's going on?
She's out of town. She took the weekend to go out of town. I
Do
think
things.
do things, have fun, be with friends, all things that I'm a little bit like, great, you're good. Being young is nice. But being old, I get to like sit here on a Saturday night.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that is my vacation.
Very nice, very nice. And thank you for spending your vacation with me here.
Of course.
I'll give you a chance to what's going on with Star Wars Mean to You. I know there's been some rumblings, some hints about some new stuff going. Tell us about it.
Yeah, we're still a little bit on a hiatus. Also, that word sounded weird to me.
Yeah, it does.
And we're taking a break. We're doing some interviews. We've talked to, and they're going to come up on February 25th. It will be the first one, and then we'll get into our weekly programming. Then we've got Claudia Gray, the author of Lost Stars,
Very nice.
and now I'm blanking. Princess Leia of Alderaan, Bloodline, a lot of great, fantastic books.
Yeah.
Chris Kimshall, who's the author of The Rise and Fall of the Galactic Empire, who's a lot of fun. Mark Newbold, who is the editor-in-chief of Fanta Tracks.
Great guy.
Really fun. And Brian Ward, who is, I guess, a Twitter influencer and artist, and he does a lot of great photoshops that I've followed since for the past couple of years, and he's just really funny. His stuff always brings a smile to my face, so it was really a pleasure to talk to him too. And we're coming
Very
back
nice.
February 25th, and we're really excited for it.
That's fantastic. Folks in the chat, if you're watching, there's a little message, little ticker thing going down there. So if you like cool things, make sure to follow Dave and Alora over at Star Wars Mean to You, because they're cool peeps. Excellent. So tonight we're going to talk about a couple of different things. We don't have any specifically planned, but we made a nice little list here, and I have it in my hand. But it's nice to be it's nice to be able to talk about different nerd things. I know we always talk about, Star Wars per se, and that's always a lot of fun. But there's a couple of things on our list that are not Star Wars related, so I can't wait to kind of dive into it. But why don't you take the first bit of news, something that you picked up?
Yeah, I will. Do you mind if I ask a question first? It's just random. While the show open was running, I was like, I wonder about this.
Oh, yeah.
It's a Star Wars question.
Sure.
So after kind of Luke retired from the Rebellion or from the Alliance, oh, thank you. I feel like Alora is, I may not be so much. After Luke kind of retires and becomes a Jedi or starts his school, does someone take on the mantle of Red 5? Is there another Red 5? Was there a Red 5 in the sequel trilogy? Is there one in Expanded Universe or one in like the Disney canon? I honestly don't know.
That's a great question. Yeah.
I think it would be kind of an interesting story.
Red 5. Is there a new Red 5? That's true.
Yeah.
I would assume that Luke retained his call sign, because obviously you see him at the end of The Mandalorian season 2. He's still flying that S-wing.
Yes.
So I would assume that the only way to retire, a call sign would be to, pull a Porkins.
Yes. Yeah. True.
So,
that's a good point.
Stay
on target.
When he became Grumpy Luke, he buried his X-wing, out on the island. So that was probably a time when there was no Red 5. But if he came back, I don't know. Yeah, but that's a good question.
I think maybe they retired the number. Like they do in sports. It's like he was a great Red 5, and they were like, let's retire the number. I'm sure there's an arena somewhere on Yavin that has his number up in the rafters.
I would agree. Yeah, for sure. But that's a great question. Yeah.
Okay, so the first bit of, I guess, news is they're going to release a manga comic book of a story that takes place during the sequel times of Star Wars. So it's like, I want to say it's in between the second and third movie.
Okay.
And it's about it's about a young kid who finds a lightsaber and then goes on adventures. I don't really know much more than that.
What's up, Loki? Loki says no, they gave it to another guy who died at Endor, new canon.
Oh. Huh.
I don't remember that. Let's see. Another guy who died at Endor, new canon. Like, Loki's the kind of guy, like, I don't know, like, sometimes I don't know if he's like being serious or he's being snarky sometimes. It's like, let me do some research here. But what is the name of the manga?
Oh, that's a really good question. And if I were smart, I would have come prepared with that.
Because I do see it. I have seen it on Twitter. I just don't know. Is it Princess of Alderaan?
I don't think so. Let's see. Because Princess of Alderaan, I think, might be based on This is kind of my Nightmare Live feeling. Like, that like where it's like the most fascinating TV of watching someone Google something. It's so funny. But I don't know the name of it. Here we go. Path of the Lightsaber.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me look that up. Path of the Lightsaber.
And I think it's supposed to have connection to the High Republic as well as taking place in the sequel era.
Woo!
And then it's by Kenny Ruiz. Ruiz? I apologize if I'm pronouncing that wrong.
That's okay. We'll forgive you. So let's see here.
But I think it's really interesting that they're doing something in the they're
Not
doing
much.
something.
Not much there. Not much there.
No. I think all they have is the title, the author, a brief description, in the cover.
Yeah. Teasing a High Republic throwback.
Mhm.
And that's it, really.
And I think it's kind of fun that they're doing something in the sequel era. I want to see. I'm kind of interested to see what they do with that, and also see if they have any of the sequel era characters in it, or if it's really kind of apart from that storyline, which I could see happening as well.
Yeah. I never really got into the High Republic. I think I read like the first book and a half, but I think I was kind of a normal fan because it seems like the arrow went down. The books really didn't capture me.
Yeah,
here it is.
There it is.
So Star Wars Path of the Lightsaber manga. I always want to say Magna.
Yeah,
It annoys me.
Magna.
I did a radio spot for a comic book store, and they have a lot of manga, and I kept on saying Magna, so I had to take that out.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Teasing a High Republic throwback. Yeah, who knows? What are your thoughts in general about the art style, the manga? I think I've always heard that Star Wars has its roots in Japanese animation, but
Yeah.
some of the stuff is pretty cool, but I do I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I'm good with it. It shows the action really well, which I really love. And it also captures the fantasy element of Star Wars.
Yeah. And again, I'm a sucker for good art. I think
Yes.
this definitely has some good colors, some good lines. I love comic books. We'll talk about it in a second, but I tend to always buy comic books that have really cool covers.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I don't know. This looks like a cool cover. If they're
I
gonna
like
use
that
this.
ship.
Yeah.
The one in the lower left hand side, I think, or the mid left hand side.
Yeah,
And then the troopers.
under the arm there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's kind of cool. I forgot. Did you say that this was going to be a kind of like a graphic novel, like a?
I'm not. I got the feeling it was going to be a limited series. But I don't know.
Loki says it's black and white in the interior, though. That's fine. I mean, I think the art is still cool.
Yeah. And worst comes to worst, they can add red and always do black, white, and red, which is so popular right now.
Yeah. So I think I'm okay with this. Like I said, I like the art style. The signature large eyes don't seem to freak me out, so I'm happy with that.
No, I grew up a little bit on Robotech, so.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Battle of the Planets.
Yep, Battle of the Planets.
What else was out there? Even Speed Racer, the original. Yeah.
Speed Racer.
Yeah. Tetsuo!
That's the same thing I always say. Akira! Tetsuo! Yeah. I froze. Another thing I like about going live is freezing and losing, like, not just my train of thought, but also like losing the strand of the conversation when you're frozen, because you don't know who is the frozen one. Is it me or is it Ro? And I won't know for another, like, maybe if someone like chats in, if I'm the live one. Anyway, what else is there to talk about? So, I feel like did you ever see not news radio? It was oh boy, Holly Hunter, and it was about the newscasters, and the one guy cries. And I know if you're watching right now, you're probably screaming the title of the movie. I want to Network News. Was it Network News? Let's see if this is it. No. Now I'm seeing you can't just Google Network News and expect to get. Broadcast News was the name of the movie. Broadcast News, directed by James L. Brooks, and starring. Let's see, who did it star? Why is it so hard to get, like, it's Holly Hunter, William Hurt, Albert Brooks. Really fun movie. Oh, Scarif just joined us. Anyway, I feel like Albert Brooks on Network News. You know, he's reading the news and just sweating away. It's like, what is going on?
Wow. My son just texted me. He goes, "Are you having internet problems?" Like, I am now.
Right?
Oh, so yeah. Thanks for holding the fort there. I don't know what was going on, but like Palpatine, somehow we've returned.
Yes, exactly. You know, it's don't underestimate the power of the dark side.
Where did we leave off?
Well, we were talking about the manga news.
All right, where did we leave off?
I think we are ready to move on to the next topic.
Sure. All right. Let me catch up with the chat here. Hyperspace Heroes came on. Hello.
Hey.
Hyperspace Heroes. We got longtime listener is also there. Let's see. My chat has all of a sudden disappeared. Oh, there it is.
Ooh.
Let's see here. Let me scroll down. Wow, lots of problems there.
Lots of people talking about how
and great. It says that
yes.
It's still a little laggy.
Yeah.
But all right. All right. So I don't know if I want to go to the next one since a little sensitive. Why don't we skip one? And then let's talk about collectible news.
Okay, let's talk. What's in collectible news? I feel like we need a little open collectible news. Collectible news.
I don't know. So first, I wanted to ask you, and that was it.
But you are like about 10 seconds behind me, and it's hysterical. And it just dawned on me that you're about 10 seconds behind. And okay, so I'm in the future right now, and you're in the past. So take down these numbers: 7, 11, 22.
That is so weird.
It's like if I refresh, will you catch up to me? Will I catch up? Like, do we
All
have
right,
to get
so
this
I'm
podcast up to
gonna
88
leave
miles
and then
per hour?
come back. Let's see what happens.
Okay. So I'm gonna talk about my favorite subject, the Darth Vader comics. Because really, who knew there was so much substance in a Darth Vader comic book? And it's not the substance of the comic books; it's the fact that there's like 100 issues, 150 issues. It's insane. The number of issues and their ability to make it interesting, because Darth Vader is a really fascinating villain. But at the end of the day, he's anger and hate personified in a metal suit. And you don't think there's going to be that many emotional stories, yet they pull it off. Greg Pak, fantastic run.
I'm back.
You're back.
Have I caught up to the future?
I think so. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. That was something's going on.
We've got gremlins tonight.
We definitely have gremlins. Yeah. Oh yeah, there's some other news. People are putting some news in the chat. R.I.P. Watto. Pour one out for Watto.
Oh.
Are you aware of this news?
No, I'm not aware of this news.
So there's a comic book that introduces the idea that Anakin or Darth Vader went back to Tatooine, as he usually does, and still never realized that Luke Skywalker was there. But he finds Watto and slices him in two with his lightsaber. He exacts revenge.
Yeah, that was a year or two ago, wasn't it? Or is that
No, that's
current?
something new. That's something new.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't remember that. That's insane. And you know what? Rightfully so. I think
Rightfully so. Yeah.
I think I'm firmly on the Darth Vader side of that. How about you? Like, where do you land on the slaying of Watto?
You know what? I think live and let, and forgive and let live. I think I don't think Watto should have been a priority for Darth Vader, the Dark Lord of the Sith, evil ruler of all.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good point. It's kind of interesting that he did make it a priority for himself.
Who knows? Yeah. Yeah, so all these comic book stuff happening.
Yeah.
So if I had a recording of your voice again singing collectible news, I would roll it again.
Collectible news. Oh, all of a sudden I'm doing Wayne's World.
Yeah.
But collectible news. What are you collecting today? How about that?
That's great. So a little show and tell. I was wondering, I had asked you before we started if you picked up anything new, and I can't wait to see what you got.
Well, this is a little something I picked up at Half Price Books. It was pretty cheap. It was $10, and I was like,
wait a minute. Yeah, go ahead. Let's see it.
I have to get this. And when I show it to you, you'll be like, oh, I see why you're talking about Darth Vader, because it is a Empire Strikes Back Darth Vader what are the vintage collection trilogy.
Very nice.
Things. I think these came out for the 40th anniversary of Empire. And I am a huge fan of this style of box art and packaging. I think it's such a missed opportunity that they didn't put like the 88 figures on the back. But I just, when I saw this, I was like, yeah, I need to pick that up. $10.
Nice.
And it's the style I love. Let's get it.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are good. You know, it's funny because they keep releasing different versions of Darth Vader. I mean, it's the same mold, it's the same Darth Vader, the Black Series,
Yeah.
but they keep putting them in new packaging. And I'm a sucker every time. I'll get it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the amazing things like C3PO. How many C3POs do I have?
Right.
It's the same droid.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's one of the great things Kenner pulled off is being able to repackage these things
Mhm.
over and over again
Yeah.
and sell them and make them seem interesting. Except, where do you land on the box? Like they went through the closed box figures for a while, I think, where you couldn't see the actual figure inside.
Oh, if I can't see it, I won't buy it.
Yeah, that's a little bit how I feel.
Yeah. It could be a brick in there, or it could be
Yeah.
like, a Constable Zuvio action figure that they just kind of slipped in there, you know?
A bunch of Wattos in the Darth Vader packaging. That would
Yeah.
be awesome. This isn't Darth Vader. This is 3. Uh, it's actually it would be boxers because there's so much tightness in there. He has to you want some loose clothing
Sure. Yeah. Speaking of
between.
clothing, Hyperspace Heroes asks, did Vader wear briefs or boxer or a thong? I don't know what that.
See, I think it's boxers.
I mean, all his scuttle bits are burnt in there, right?
Scuttle bits.
He needs to be comfortable. But I picked up two things. Today or yesterday actually, I picked up an electronic Grogu
Oh wow.
with the weird teeth. Look
Yeah.
at that.
The
Yeah.
uncomfortable teeth.
The uncomfortable teeth, but I guess he's interactive. I did turn him on, and he uses the Force and he points at you, which is kind of cool, I guess. But he is a little freaky looking. But it's nice. It was only $6 at the thrift store.
There you go.
Well, that's nice. And another deal that I got a while ago. I don't know if you listened to the episode. A while ago, I had I brought somebody on. We talked about coffee table books, and one of the things that I love collecting, just by chance, because we start buying things, and all of a sudden we're like, oh, we have a collection. It's basically the Art of Star Wars concept book.
Oh yes.
I found this at the thrift store for like $9.
That's a good thrift store find.
Yeah, I got lucky. Look at that, Boba Fett.
God. Yeah.
From the
Is that the holiday special?
holiday special Boba Fett. Yeah. But it's a great book. It gives you a lot of images that Ralph McQuarrie and Doug Chang did.
I think it might have been droids.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, just the classic.
Yeah, it's a great book. It's thick. It's got a lot of artwork, concept artwork, and it's really great. I tell you, man, I find so much thrift stores. It's kind of a waste to do retail anymore. But I mean, even at retail stores, they're giving away Black Series figures for like $4, $5.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Go to Ross's, you'll find something.
Yeah, it's really true. And I'm really surprised about the Ross thing. I didn't know that until pretty recently. So I've been going to Ross
just to find things. What else you got? It's funny. I see the Burger King glasses behind you, and I've got 2 sets. One thing I didn't realize that the paint that the images are made of are poisonous, are lead.
Yes, it's lead paint.
So don't lick them.
No, I learned that the hard way. That's why I'm so slow.
Oh man, that's too bad.
Yeah,
we got you. We got you though.
Thank you.
You can just blame it on internet problems.
Oh yeah, I blame it on brain rot all the time.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking of like too much scrolling gives you brain rot. not so much as like losing connection.
Sure. Yeah. But let's talk about some rumors. We love rumors, don't we?
Rumors.
Not really.
Yeah. Not really. You know what? It's true. We don't like rumors. I just like rumors are the what is it? Rumors lead to speculation. Speculation leads to expectation. Expectation leads to the dark side.
It's true. Nice paraphrase there for
Thank you.
what Yoda said, but absolutely. But nevertheless, it's funny. We kind of live our lives on the interwebs,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of rumors out there. And the funny thing is, like, it just people treat it as like real news. So that's that's kind of like the frustrating part. But I've been wanting to try and to start a rumor myself. I'm trying to think of a good rumor to start. But maybe you and I can team up together and start a really good Star Wars rumor. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, let's do it. I like it. And I think the crux of a good rumor is it sounds a little bit like it could be true. Like something along the lines of there's going to be a Poe solo show. Like they're going to do a Disney Plus show of just Poe.
A Poe-so.
Yeah.
Hmm.
A Poe-so show.
Wow. You crossed the line there, Dave.
Sorry. I blame the internet.
But blaming the internet, yeah, it's what is the latest rumor? We had obviously actors going here and actors doing all sorts of things, but who's next on the agenda to appear in a
Well, and again, I'm going to say this, and it's going to sound false, although I'm sure everyone who's listening already knows, is that the rumor is that they want Natalie Portman to return for Ahsoka season 2.
I don't know.
I don't know either. And here's one thought. For me, it's like having Hayden Christensen or having Anakin Skywalker in the World Between Worlds made sense. Having him in flashbacks makes sense.
Yeah.
I guess Ahsoka knew Padme.
Sure. Yeah.
But it feels I don't know, it feels more rumor than true more.
Yeah. And I almost feel like people went a little crazy when we got young Ahsoka with Anakin in the Clone Wars, the
Yes.
backs in the Ahsoka show. And I feel almost like Dave Filoni said, hey, what else can we give the fans that are member berries? Let's get Padme involved too. We'll get a flashback of Padme. And then all of a sudden, obviously, we got news that Ewan McGregor was going to make an appearance and getting the whole gang back together.
Yeah. Let's just do some live action Clone Wars. Why even
bother? But it's yeah, I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
If they get it to serve the story, I think it's great. I just don't know if I don't know if she has. Let me put it this way. Until she signs on the dotted line and they put an official PR release out that, hey, Natalie Portman's coming back, I feel like the speculation is very difficult for me because it's kind of like trying to build a foundation on a half truth. And we've talked about expectations before and how do we manage expectations. And for me personally, that's one of the things I do is I try to wait until official word is out and then start really considering it.
That's crazy talk.
I know. Was that a wimp answer? Did I wuss out of that?
No, but it's interesting. But Hyperspace Heroes has a comment. Embo, you heard the news about Embo being the bad guy in the Grogu Mando movie, and everybody's like, huh, what? But that's a good thought. Him being a red
Yeah.
herring for the Amanda movie, and the bad guy is actually going to be Jod, and I think that would be kind of a cool little twist.
Either way, yes, I agree. I think it would be a good twist. Yes.
Yeah.
Saying that Plo Koon was a stand-in for Luke in Mando season 2.
Yeah.
That's true. When really he was working on the acolyte the whole time. No,
He
that
was.
wasn't Plo Koon. That was
That was
yeah,
Conehead
Kid and Caboodle.
guy. But yeah,
I think I really like Jod. I'm sorry, I'm going to sidetrack this conversation here, but Jod was one of my favorite Star Wars characters in a long, long time, and I would be kind of bummed out if he plays a villain. I don't mind him being kind of like that very gray area, like more gray than Han Solo.
Mhm.
But if he's an outright villain, I would be a little sad.
Yeah, I'm not a big proponent of having big stars in Star Wars. For me, and again, we talked about this before, but for me, it adds to the fantasy. It adds to the suspension of disbelief. I want to believe that these characters are someone we don't know, that we're getting into the galaxy far,
Yeah.
far away and kind of going along with the story. So, if you see like a Tom Cruise come out of the shadows with a lightsaber, your brain all automatically thinks, "Oh wow, that's Tom Cruise
Yeah.
holding a lightsaber." So it kind of throws you out. But there are certain characters or certain actors really that take a role and really kind of run with it. And I think Jude Law definitely surprised me in the role of Jod on Skeleton Crew. So I wouldn't mind, and there are rumors again, that he's going to pop up in the Mando movie, or at least it's not the last time we see the characters. So I definitely welcome, maybe seeing Jod again in some other, project. I think that'll be cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you when there's a well-known star, it bumps me because I do that same thing. I think first, oh, here's this person, and then I go, oh wait, we're in Star Wars. And
Yeah.
the funny thing about Jude Law, and this is just me personally, I really wasn't a fan of his. I couldn't name any Jude Law shows or movies. I mean, I think I can now because I've did a little bit of dive into him. But going into Skeleton Crew, he really was a little bit out of the blue for me.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. We'll see. Difficult to see, the future is.
It is always in motion.
Yes, always in motion. What else? What else can we talk about? Andor season 2 is coming sooner rather than later. And I can't wait to tell you that I'm very excited.
Right? It's I want to say it's April 2nd.
Somewhere in April.
Yeah, somewhere maybe 22nd, maybe
Tax
Disney
time
Plus
season.
Oh God. Of course Andor would come at tax time.
The
It
Empire
always
is
seems
collecting.
exactly. Hello.
Yeah.
But I'm very excited for it. I think I just have this I have look, expectations again. I
Sure.
have
Yeah.
this hope that they're really going to um just nail it and like go all out to tell the season 2 story. I'm hoping for more aliens in it.
Mhm.
More a little look, here's the thing that with Andor, I think it's a great show and I love it and I think it's good Star Wars. It just always felt a little more earthbound or a little more human facing than a lot of the other Star Wars shows. And that always kind of bumped me a little bit that it never we didn't get like Ithorians just walking around. There was it never felt like a true mix of aliens and humans. it felt like humans out outpopulated the rest of the universe.
Yeah.
Is that a hot take?
No, it's and it's funny because there was some posts actually earlier today regarding the what do you call it? The what do you call it when you only not prejudice, but the
Oh,
fact that the emperor
biased.
yeah, something like that. The fact that the emperor only used, humans and not really like he didn't use non-humans in the empire.
Yes.
So there's a little bit of that, and also obviously the fact that human life was so prevalent in the galaxy, yada yada yada.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll be neat to I want to see. Um, Skeleton Crew did do an excellent job of Thorians and other species. It did feel very uh, uh, um, filled out, and the costuming was also really great. Probably at the budget they had, I felt like every dollar was on the screen. But it's going to be great to see the return of the characters like Mon Mothma and
Oh
how
yeah.
the rebellion kind of coalesces. Um, and then
I mean,
Andor himself meeting
sure.
S2 for I forget the droid's name.
K2SO.
K2SO.
The obviously the biggest thing that I'm really excited about is just, getting to a point where, we're experiencing quality writing.
Yes.
Character motivations that make sense, writing that makes sense. Just the quality of Andor was just up there. Obviously, you and I have talked about it before. So I think that's that's really what I was waiting for. Yesterday I recorded a show with a new friend, Nerd Migos,
Mhm.
Spanish Star Wars podcast, but we talked about the fact that there's so much Star Wars out there, and there's different projects for different people, and I wish that all Star Wars would be top tier and written like Andor. Unfortunately, it's not for whatever reason. But you ask 100 people about Star Wars, you'll get 100 answers. But it's just it is what it is. But nevertheless,
Yeah.
I think I'm always going to be excited for for new
A
Star
Star
Wars.
Wars thing.
I'll watch it and see what it's all about, et cetera, et cetera. So we'll see. But Andor, season 2, yeah, definitely on my wish list. Getting ready for that. I don't want it to come too soon because that'll mean that we're a quarter way into the year
Oh
already.
my gosh.
And
Yeah.
holy moly, that January was
A
tough.
fast one. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Today we had a birthday today. Not just one, many birthdays, but one that perhaps maybe we can touch on. Again, because we are nerds of all sorts of sensitivities. And one of the films that I really enjoy, Brad and I have been wanting to do an episode on our top 5 most perfect movies. And
Oh.
I'm going to ask you if the following movie would be placed in a top 5 most perfect movies. And I'm talking about Brandon Lee as the Crow. Today was his birthday.
Oh.
If he would have lived. But I love The Crow. It's one of those, you know, obviously, people that know me know that I like my Star Wars and superhero movies dark and moody, and Crow definitely lives up to that. But what are your thoughts on The Crow? Possibly, maybe, I need some help. Should I put it on that top 5 most perfect movies?
That's a hard one for me because I think a perfect movie is somewhat POV, and the Crow for me does not reach top 5
Okay.
perfect movie. It is. I think it's a really great movie that was branded by an unfortunate death, and has kind of. I'm going to say something relatively terrible, but it has survived because Brandon Lee did not.
Oh, wow. That's certainly a take.
Yeah, and I watched The Crow maybe a year ago,
Mhm.
so it's not super embedded in my memory,
Mhm.
uh, but I remember it being more entertaining this watch than it was when I saw it in the theaters back in early '90s. Was it
Sure.
early '90s? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Um, and so I appreciated it more, but I don't think I would put it in a top 5 for me.
So, and not in any particular order, is there a movie that you would put in your top 5 most perfect movies? And don't use The
I
Empire Strikes Back or The Last Jedi.
Jaws or The Last Jedi. Jaws. I really liked The Last Jedi, but that would not go in a top 5 for me. I think Jaws, one of the Godfather movies. I'm not sure if it's 1 or 2,
Okay.
in the sense that it's very hard for me to bisect those 2 from each other. Um, let's see, what else do we have? I'd really have to think about it more, especially with taking Empire Strikes Back out. And
Sure.
that may not make my perfect movie. Oh, this is a blowhard answer, but Citizen Kane, I think, is a near perfect movie.
Okay.
Um, Especially for what it did for filmmaking back in the JT says Jaws, and absolutely 100% Jaws.
Yeah.
That may be number 1 for me.
Cool. Yeah. All right. Yeah,
How about
I mean, I've got a list, obviously
yeah.
I don't want to stick Empire Strikes Back and all the Star Wars movies in there, but Raiders of the Lost Ark
Yep. Yeah.
is
And
one.
and and that one hit me as soon as we were talking about Jaws again. I was like, "Oh, Raiders as well." But it would be hard to put 2 Steven Spielbergs in the top 5, even though he may deserve it.
Sure, sure. Back to the Future
Oh,
would be another one
yeah.
for me. The Wrath of Khan, the Star Trek,
Yes.
the other white meat.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
Yes.
there are certainly movies out there, films out there that are top 5 most perfect for me. And obviously it's all subjective, but some of the criteria, I guess, are rewatchability, the
Mhm.
impact on society and nerd culture. Yeah, Hyperspace says Aliens was pretty good. Doctor Strangelove.
Yes.
Um,
Yep.
but it's funny though, because obviously movies have been around for a long time, and I'm wondering if it would be fair to pick movies from back in the day, like something as old as like Metropolis,
Yeah,
uh, or
I think
even
so.
it's interesting because top 5 is kind of a tough thing to kind of compile as far as
Mhm.
perfection. We have to kind of define what perfection is for us, but really, yeah, rewatchability, music, acting, story, and really, I think
Pacing.
the impact on society. I mean, we obviously we're Star Wars people, and the impact of Star Wars on modern culture is unmatched. I don't think anything lately has really been as
I
impactful as Star Wars has.
I will say one thing, and it may be recency issue, like because it's current, but Taylor Swift, I think might have that, but it's not sustainable. I don't think it's sustainable like Star Wars because it's a person more than a concept.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, artists like that definitely,
Eagles.
have an impact on society and modern culture and pop culture, really.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely. Hail Scuttlebutt. Unlocking Lore, my friend Maria. And if you have not seen her channel, please check her out. She has been doing some amazing artwork with friends, and every time she posts some bookmarks and art, my jaw drops, because I mean, I knew I had talented friends, but Maria, damn, those are really
Wow.
great. So check those out. I'm waiting to see if she'll do any Star Wars bookmarks. That would be amazing. Put me down for some of those. But yeah, it's a tough cookie to crack. Top 5 most perfect movies.
It's tough.
We're definitely gonna, do a show on that, and we'll invite you, because we like hanging out with
Excellent.
peeps.
That's fantastic. It will make me think about my top 5.
Yeah, and and again, just reasoning behind it, like, what is it
Yeah.
about these films that that make that add to the criteria of such a category. It's being a nerd is funny, because there are so many really, really great films to choose from
Yeah.
in our sphere of influence. We mentioned obviously a couple, but science fiction is one of those genres that it's not just the flying spaceships and laser swords. I think from
Yeah.
a philosophical point of view, these movies really make you think. I mean, the good science fiction at least makes you think.
Exactly. And another film that just struck me that for my list might be one of the Lord of the Rings films, probably the first
Sure.
one.
Yeah,
Is
yeah. I know that's on a lot of people's list. I'm not too fond of like fantasy,
Mhm. I'm
movies
not a
like that. I'm
like
more into the futuristic
yeah.
science fiction, metal versus trees and
Yes.
things like that. Yeah. So,
I I am much more of a sci-fi guy than a fantasy guy.
mhm.
I agree, metal over wood, but
Wait a minute.
I'm gonna I'm gonna get a T-shirt, metal over wood.
There you go.
People are gonna be like, "What does that mean?" Um, and but the Lord of the Rings, and I haven't read the books. I only read The Hobbit. And so I really think surprisingly I do like it. Oh yeah, Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah.
It's a really good one.
It is. It is. But yeah, so there's always a lot of news and rumors and things like that to talk
Yeah.
about in the nerdosphere. But
I I kind of want to start a segment called News to Lose. And I have no idea what's in it, but I
news
just
to
like the sound of it.
lose. News. How
News
about
to
news
lose.
you can use?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. We'll have to get
News you
together
can
and do
use.
yeah, we'll have to get together and do a little recording session, so I can put some stuff together, little segment intros. I think that'll be fun. You got a
Yeah.
nice voice, Dave. You got a nice
Oh,
voice.
thank you. I think you're insane, but I appreciate it. And I will take it because my ego's huge.
Excellent. Yeah, so any final thoughts? We've gone through our
Oh,
list here
yeah.
and had a lot
Um,
of fun.
I will say this. I am a big movie person. I love watching movies, and um I don't rent movies a lot, and I don't go to movies a lot, so I wait till they're on streaming. And I had a big old like this weekend. I watched a lot of great movies. Smaller movies, but like Gladiator 2.
Okay.
Um,
How was that?
I really enjoyed it. It's a
Okay.
big dumb movie with a bunch of stars, but it is well. I told a friend the other day, if you move the camera a little bit and compose a scene, you got me. Like I feel like movies now are really kind of basic, establish reaction, 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 next establishing shot, reaction, 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 as opposed to like a really interesting camera movements and frame
Yeah.
composition. So it has that and great pacing, good performances, really great. The Wild Robot.
Oh,
which is
okay.
an animated movie. Another fantastic, heartbreaking kind of like every, it's like it's all kind of like Up or the opening of Bambi, just
Mhm.
wonderfully sad but uplifting. Then what else? I watched Your Monster, which is a movie about a woman going through oh god, now I can't remember. A woman going through a breakup or something, and she has this she visualizes a monster to help her through it. Kind of like a Beauty and the Beast almost.
Hmm.
And that was really interesting. Gets really dark at the end.
Interesting.
So I just had this like weekend of like watching a ton of
Watch.
movies after
That's cool.
not watching a ton of movies, and they were all entertaining.
Filmmaking is such a great process because you look at streaming services like Netflix. They have a lot of foreign films, a lot of original content. Not a lot of people are into foreign films because they don't like to read, but
Yeah.
there is some really great stuff. One thing that really surprises me is that the language of cinema is universal. Whether you're watching a
Yes.
Korean film, an Indian film, a Polish film. I think the language of conveying emotion through the lens of a camera is universal, and I find that fascinating. I think that is one thing that kind of ties us humans together: the ability to storytell in so
Yeah.
many different ways, starting from telling a story around the campfire to the creative, collaborative, efforts of making a movie and telling a story that way. I think it's amazing.
I absolutely agree with you, and it is amazing that that visual language is universal. You're right. I never really thought about it that way.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny. It's like here's the camera and go do your thing, and
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, I mean, there's a I think there's an innate rhythm to making a movie, whether you're
Mhm.
conscious about it or not. As a director or creative person, there's a rhyme and a reason for it, and I think that's kind of cool.
Absolutely, and like poetry, it rhymes.
Yes, absolutely. All right, excellent. I want to thank the chat for your patience
Yeah,
during
thank you
our
guys.
technical snafus, but thank you guys for coming by and chatting with us. And again, quick reminder: if you guys want to win a Scarif mug, make sure to listen to this Thursday's um, Scarif Scuttlebutt podcast, the audio show. Heidi and I from Costume Code did a discussion on costumes. Listen to the end to enter to win. You got to do something. We put some instructions on there. You got to be able to do something and follow the instructions there to be able to win our Scarif mug there. And I'll throw in some stickers too. But excellent. Anything else you want to touch on before we take off, Dave? Some announcements on Star Wars Mean to You?
Sure. Just we're back February 25th with all new episodes, all new minisodes, and all new points of view. And we're talking to a lot of Star Wars fans and a lot of Star Wars creators, and really excited to bring it to you all starting February 25th.
Excellent. And don't forget to give Dave a follow over at Star Wars Mean
Yes.
to You. The name is right there under his face. And yeah, make sure to hit the thumbs up on this video. I wasn't going to do a Scarif Live this weekend, and then I realized, wait a minute, I'm paying for something. Might as well do a Scarif Live.
Yeah, and I think we did it. Even though you had to listen to my monologue about broadcast news, I think it was pretty good.
Excellent, excellent. So thank you everybody in the chat. We'll see if we'll do another Scarif Live next week. I'll bring in another friend unless you want to come in again, but we definitely have some stuff brewing here at the Citadel. I spoke with a new friend, Nerd Migos, and we had some takes. We talked about Disney Star Wars versus George Lucas Star Wars, and it got pretty deep. So that should be an interesting one. And I coaxed my wife back in front of the microphone. We did a My Wife Hates Sci-Fi episode. What movie did we watch? What did we watch?
Section 31.
Oh my God, that's another show. We got to talk about that too. But no, what did we watch? I forgot what we watched. Oh, Minority Report, Steven Spielberg.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So there's just no hope for her. She just does not like sci-fi. So I'll put that one together and release that soon. And we're doing a couple of special Scarif Lives in the month of February and March, but sneak peek. Heidi and I are going to go back to the auction block and team up with Prop Store. Blade Runner 2049 has a whole bunch of things that they're auctioning off, and we're going to get a sneak peek and then go into the future in 2049 to check out some of the props and costumes. We're going to pick out a couple to talk about. They're going to have them in the studio, and we will be live on Heidi's channel. So that should be a lot of fun. And I'm trying to organize a live stream with Colin Cantwell's former partner. She is keeping the fire alive. Colin Cantwell, obviously, you guys know, designed a lot of the Star Wars ships back in the day. And we'll be talking to her about Colin's career and the website where you can get some Colin Cantwell prints, which are really a really great collectible. So yeah, a lot of stuff that's happening here on the Scarif Scuttlebutt podcast. And remember, we are part of the Red 5 network. Head on over to bio.link/Red5 to see more Red 5 network podcasts. Always having fun. Dave, you are welcome on the Scarif podcast anytime. Just hit me up.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yeah. Excellent. Chat, thank you so much for hanging out with us on Saturday night. We will see you guys throughout the week. Oh, and we were talking about Twitter before we hang up here. You said that you kind of wanted you asked me if I ever wanted to leave social media or leave Twitter. I'm going to say yes and no. Twitter has the engagement of Twitter for me has kind of died down a lot because there's a lot of political stuff happening, which I hate. I love politics in Star Wars. I just don't like it in real life. And it sucks to read so much crap from both sides. I'm just here for the Star Wars. So I kind of, I follow a lot of people on Twitter from both ends of the spectrum. I don't like reading a lot of stuff that people say from either side, but it's their opinions. That's all on them. But if you treat me right, I'll be okay with you too. But obviously, Scarif Podcast has a Instagram account. But like you were saying, I think a lot of people are still on Twitter. I still get interactions, although it has gone down. I still get interactions from people. All the cool people are still on Twitter. So that's where I'm at.
That's where you're at. Yeah, it's a tough call. I think it's I'm not a huge fan of social in general because I'm addicted to it mostly, I think. But it's social is kind of like the fire hose. And if you're not careful with the fire hose, you're just going to take it to the face like a Weird Al Yankovic movie. And that's a little bit how I feel, is like I'm constantly just barraged with information, regardless of what the information is. Just kind of like, it's almost like a distracted mind where I can't settle my brain down to kind of go to have thoughts of my own. Really, that's what it comes down to. I think.
Yeah. But excellent. Yeah, it's always fun talking with you, Dave. We gotta have you back on to do a proper audio show where we don't get disrupted by internet problems. But always welcome. And chat. Just a reminder: go follow Dave at Star Wars Mean to You. Him, and Elora do some great discussions and interviews there. So next time we'll have Elora also to. When she's done gallivanting across the galaxy.
Yeah. I'm sure she'll be excited to join us and talk Star Wars and movies.
Excellent. All right, chat. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on ScarifLive. If you want to add your voice to our show, we love to hear your voicemails. So why don't you save our Scarif Scuttlebutt hotline as favorite number 5 for Red 5. Save it as your favorite number 5. Give us a call. Leave us a voicemail at 773-234-8659. Tell us what you thought of anything, really. We are open to hearing all your takes. Or if you don't want to make the phone call, if you're living somewhere not in the tri-state area there, just record yourself with your phone and send us a voice note at scarifscuttlebutt@gmail.com. We are part of the Red 5 network. Remember, go to bio.link/Red5. And that's about it. That's Dave. I'm Ro. And that is the Scuttlebutt. Talk to y'all